Brandon with the Chosen Prime here, and we are back today taking a look at Fans Toys FT32A Gehry. This is their take on Scrapper. So we're going to get into this review here, take a look at all the features, show you some size comparisons, and show you the transformation. First things first, let's get this out of the way here. This piece here is an adapter for the alt mode, which you'll see later. This is the heel spur. So this hooks up around the front of the loader arm mechanism and kind of makes one unit all the way across this way. And then this comes down through the back to connect. You can hook this on the robot if you so desire. I'm not sure why you'd want to do that, but I will show you where it hooks. If you just go in here, this goes right on there. It just clips in, and then this kind of all goes like that. Not sure why you'd want that there. He already has a lot going on here, so I don't think anything else is necessary. But it's there if you want to have the complete robot all in one piece. You can do that. So the next thing we'll take a look at, we can look at his blaster here. Very G1 accurate looking blaster, and standard peg on both sides for these guys, so they can fit right in to whatever you need. We'll show it here in hand real quick. And it fits in good and tight too. You don't have any issue with anything feeling loose or like it just wouldn't hold there for any reason. So the gun holds great. The other accessory that he comes with is this wonderful trumpet. And this is all die cast. So it has a great feel to it. It's nice, nice brass color paint on there. So it's like I don't know, maybe it's vacuum chrome in a brass color. But this guy also is pegged here on both sides, so you can put it in either hand. And I'll just kind of show you how that fits in and how you can utilize the horn. Oop, let's make sure. I think I got his thumb. Okay, let's try to hook this up. The arms are stiff. The elbow joints are real stiff, and I haven't messed with this guy a ton, so they're still pretty stiff. I think they will loosen up, but they are pretty stiff. So you can get this guy here with his horn in hand and get him going like that if you wanted to do that. And obviously it'll look a lot cooler when we have them all. So that's the trumpet. Not much for accessories with this guy, but at least it gets you an idea of what he can do. And his head articulation is obviously very good. You can look down slightly, up quite a bit. Arm articulation, you can see this is folded all the way up on this side. And then we have shoulder that goes all the way out as well. So good articulation there. The knees are fantastic. I like how they put this filler in here. That looks nice, so we don't have these big unsightly gaps going on. So that is the extent of the knee right there, 90 degrees. And then we have our ankle tilts here, mostly going this direction, very little the other. So that kind of shakes out the articulation of this guy. He definitely can make some nice poses pretty easily. He does not have any waist swivel that I can tell, but you can still get him in some really good poses. He's stable, no problems there at all. Next thing we'll do here, we'll take a look at some comparisons with a couple familiar faces, just to get you an idea of where this guy stands, literally. So we'll put him in the middle, and we will bring in the Robot Paradise Soundwave. So this guy's basically head to head. They're almost identical at the top of their heads. And I think, that's about the right size for the Constructicons. Last but not least, we'll take a look at where he stands with MP44. And again, right about head to head. The top of Optimus's ears may stick out just slightly higher. But overall, these guys are right in line, but much chunkier, build than say Optimus is. So I think it looks really good together. These guys fit in nicely. So now that we've seen some comparisons, let's take a look at this transformation. I'll try to step through this as smooth as I can. I've done it once, so bear with me. But the first thing we're gonna do here is get these hands folded up. We'll get them out of the way. So there's a little panel here that drops down, and this just tucks right in here. So that one is done. Again, you wanna fold the thumb in here to get this to go smooth. The hand stays vertical just like that, and it slides through without much trouble there. So the next thing that we want to do is just pull these shoulders out, and these, there's a pretty good pop there to get those done, especially the first time. Now that I've done it a few times, they're a little bit easier. But we'll take this down. So we want to pull the head up. So right here, the head hooks into this peg right here, so you can kind of see how that all works. So don't try to pull on this. That's what I always try to do first, but it's actually the head that kind of hinges everything. And this just tucks right in there, and it's gone. So the next thing we want to do is come to the back here, and this is the whole bucket mechanism. Everything's kind of folded up in here. So we'll just take this out right now, and you can see that there's a lot going on here. There's a stabilizer in here and that sort of thing. So I just kind of pull it apart, and there's two hinges. This all hinges right here, right in here, and you can see that pops out on both sides. This one already was popped out just from me messing with it, but that kind of gets this section where it needs to be for transformation, and then we'll move on from there. This part was the toughest part for me to figure out. Now, keep in mind, I don't use the instructions, so I may not be doing this exactly how they show it. I just like to figure it out as I go. But this was a tough one because I just wasn't confident in what I was doing here. But this does just pop down. It just rolls down, and you can see these two channels that the cab sits in. Once you do that, you just pop these open like this and swing them around, and now you've got your front wheels out in position where they would go. And from there, this folds flat here, and your cab kind of goes back up here. Now, the arms are an interesting bunch of movements. So the first thing you want to do, let's pop these out just so I don't forget to do it later, because these are going to be necessary for locking this whole mechanism in. So with the arms, you untab this right here. There's a little switch on both sides. So then from there, it all kind of separates and rolls down. And then it also rolls down again. So there's several channels. Let me see if I can show you this. There's several channels in here that all lock together when it's in the arm mode. But you have to get all of that loose to get it into the mode for the where it goes here, where all the pieces need to be. You kind of have to flip that all around and change that up a little bit. So we'll get this one folded in. Now keep in mind, again, I've only done this once, so I may fumble through it pretty miserably, but I'm gonna try. So this goes in here, and you can see this locks into this channel here. Hold on. Let's get this. Let's get this. Actually, let's go ahead. Yeah, we'll go ahead and get this one done and spun out as well. So both these parts are open the way they need to be. And then these arms are just going to go right in here to connect to this piece here and the bucket mechanism. So that's going to pop to there, and these are going to roll into here. Now, this is a little bit tricky because of how this all connects. So again, I struggled with it mightily beforehand, and I'm continuing to struggle a little bit now because I'm probably not doing it exactly how the instructions say to do it. But I'm going to try to give you guys the best shake I can on it. So that goes down in there and kind of locks in. And then this one will do the same with this side. I'll lock it into place. And these roll over. And let me think here. Pretty sure these need to be facing this way here. And then, oh, you know what? I know what it is. That's right. They got me. Because these have to fold down. The elbows have to be down. Like so. That's right. I forgot. And then this is all going to fold into here and get us down tight with that. So that all actually is pretty close to what we need for functionality. Now, what I'll show you is there's a little channel with the wheel, and it cuts up into here and holds into place. So that's where your front wheel is going to end up, right there. So we'll get that one, and then we'll do the same thing. Once we get this on this side, then we can get this wheel and channel all locked into place up here as well. So we've got that all done. Let's take a look at this bucket, and I'll show you how this unfolds and goes together. So there's a hinge here that you can see. This all kind of widens out and allows you space to unfold everything and then kind of put it into place where it belongs. You can see it kind of just all works out. As you work these hinges up, everything works itself. And what you want to do is get these hinges to the inside rather than the outside. So that will then kind of get the arm mechanism in the proper placement. Then you can just snap those into place. And there's these little side pieces that you got to look for. Just pop those, just roll those out. They're kind of a little bit tricky. There is a little finger slot though that you can get your thumb or get your nail into. So you just want to do that and then snap that all together. And from there, we have our bucket system all in place. As you can see there, that's the front. So we'll move on to the back here, and I'll show you how the legs work. So what I do to pop this loose is just kind of like work on this wheel, because the wheel kind of controls everything else in here. There's a panel here. This all opens up here. So the whole leg is going to fold under right there. But let's get the foot in place first. This is a little bit unusually placed, I guess, because you want to put this foot out like this. And then the toe kind of folds back here like that. The heel spur is going to fold right back there. And now we can just roll this over to its destination. And we're going to get this. Oh, I forgot we didn't turn the elbow down on this one. So let's do that. We'll get that out of our way, and then we'll put the foot back. We're going to get this. Sorry, I'm doing this a little bit out of frame on you guys here. Get that folded down in there where it belongs, and then get the cab pushed back up. Oops. And now we can kind of fold this all back together in the closed position here. We got to get this panel out, which is our kind of rear radiator panel, and you want to lock that on the inside when you go to put that in. Then you lock the wheel in place, and finally this panel. So that sets your whole front or rear area by the tires kind of all in place. Then we'll go to the other side and try to knock this one out as well. Again, I just kind of wiggle this wheel, and then that kind of helps pop this panel loose. You can pop this one from there. We'll put that one out now and roll this whole piece back. And again, let's not forget about the foot here, which I was about to do. But you want to turn that toe out, and then you want to spin this heel spur around to where it's sitting like that with the outside of the leg. So then as we spin this in, there's nothing in our way to doing that. And this is on the inside again here where we want it. So we just lock that in place, lock the wheel in, and then lock the rear panel in. So now these slide together right here. You can just see the space there. You just slide those thighs together, like right at the upper thigh, and it all just kind of rolls in together for that. And the last thing that you have to do, which is probably the trickiest part, for me at least, was getting this tab right here into this hole. So in order to do that, this arm mechanism has to be seated very well. So it's got to clear the foot. So it means that you have to make sure that, I don't know if I can show this, but you can see there's a channel over here that this all has to fit down in. And it's almost better to do it with the torso kind of bent a little bit, so the legs are out of the way just a little more. But again, you see this little half circle channel in here, and that arm has to go inside of that. The mechanism does. So you just gotta kind of work it a little bit and force it just a little. And then you can reach around and get those to lock in place very nicely, very securely. Again, we'll do this side. They snap right in very securely. This side, there it goes. Okay. And then all we have here is our little guard. And let's see, I didn't adjust the wheels. So your wheel adjustment on these should be all set to where when we set him down here, he's rolling freely. And one thing that I thought was a cool feature on this guy that they probably didn't necessarily have to do is the fact that you can put his exhaust or his gun on the back here to create an exhaust pipe on the rear of the front end loader. So we got our fully functioning bucket here with our front end loader. And again, I didn't tab these in, I guess. Oh yeah, you can see there's some space there. So this does, there's 2 slots where this tabs into. So I didn't have that one locked in good. Now it is locked in great. Fix the cab, and there we go. So we got this guy in loader mode. Let's take a look at a couple comparisons with some Takara Tomy vehicles, just to give you an idea of how it scales. Now, if this was a true mine loader, it would be much bigger than this van, this Nissan or Cherry van. And then your Toyota Hilux, also same thing. It would definitely be bigger than this, but they're definitely still larger. Even looking side to side here, it's substantially larger of a vehicle than Masterpiece Ironhide is, which I think is probably as good as you can do for the mass shifting that's going on here, trying to keep things in a reasonable scale. So I think Takara has done a good job with these, and Fans Toys has probably done the best to match that scale that they possibly can and still keep the figures in a reasonable size frame. So I appreciate you guys taking a look at this. We're going to come back. I'm going to put this guy in limb mode, and we're going to come back and take a look at those modes, and I'll show you some comparisons again with that. I appreciate you guys checking this portion out. We'll be right back. Okay, we're back here. We've got our Gehry in limb mode. So I want to show you guys some size comparisons and show you the articulation on it, as well as just kind of give you an overall preview of the leg. You can see that the size of it is substantially larger than the limbs on Ethereon. If you look at this comparatively, you're looking at, mid to high thigh on just the lower portion of the leg and knee. You're going to have your thigh above that. So I would suspect that the thigh is going to end up somewhere in the abdomen range of Ethereon. That should put it, overall 6 to 8 inches taller than Ethereon. That's just a guess on my part. We have no idea, but I think we'll be somewhere in that vicinity. So let's take a look at the limb itself. You can see structurally this is all really held in there good. Everything is very secure. I don't sense any stability issues here. The arms lock in to the bucket, so that's all one unit and very secure. This is all die cast back here for the heel spur. And everything up here is locked tight. It's really good. You can see the ankle tilt here. You get 2 clicks. The mechanism's all here, and you can hear those clicks. Really good, very solid. I don't sense any issues with that. They're strong. They take a pretty good amount of pressure to get them to click in each direction. And then if you look at the overall profile here, pretty clean even at the back side. You got the wheels up here. Everything looks very svelte and smooth. I think articulation-wise, this guy, you got the knee bend here, which I believe if you get these skirts out of the way, you can actually get some additional bend there. So I think this guy's going to be very articulated at the large scale that it's going to be at. I think we'll be very impressed with what we see there. I appreciate you guys checking this video out. If you have any questions, please let us know. And again, Gehry is available at the Chosen Prime now. We're shipping them out every day, and appreciate you guys checking out the video. Thanks.